Coach and Nick from Echo Base Network. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens. Echo Base Network. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight at Echo Base TV, where community happens.
Might help if I bring us all in.
Maybe.
Oh man, I literally sat down at the last second. That this
and you're coming through the wrong mic, bro.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Now I'm checking mine.
I am.
See?
Testing, how's that?
The much better. And blame John. That's what I do.
I don't know what's going on. And was there maybe somebody in the chat can tell me this? Did you guys hear any sound from the pre-show?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounded great.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Because for some reason
you still sound low, and so do I. I just increased my volume.
Let's see here.
You sound fine to me.
John, you're low too. What the hell?
Sounds like
Yeah.
Culture needs to increase his volume if everyone's low to him.
Yeah.
Well, no, I mean Loki sounded fine.
Hope so.
Yeah. Anyway, hi everybody.
All right, testing.
Yeah, say hi to everybody.
Good.
Yeah, you sound
Yeah.
fine to me.
Okay. All right. Well, welcome to another Friday EBN Cast. Coach was actually going to join us today because he's off this week, but he had a stupid prep rally thing to go to. I was
Oh
like,
no.
yay. You should be here on the EBN Cast with the cool kids.
Yeah. Yeah, the cool kids.
yeah,
That's us.
but no,
You
it's
should say that he's become a Hokie fan and he was celebrating that dominant victory on Thursday Night Football over the Boston College Eagles.
Oh,
boy.
yeah. Yeah, he doesn't ever get to go to his kids' pep rallies for the football games and stuff because he's always at work. So, he's off. So I understand he got to go today. But real quick, guys, we got some good topics for you today. Let me start off by saying there are 5 ways you can support us, 4 listed here. EBN memberships, Patreon, where we post a ton of stuff we can't post here on YouTube. Coach actually just uploaded 6 videos over there today on Patreon. We're going through the Penguin series, uploading every week's episode over there. Just put our Alien Romulus reaction over there. And he put a bunch of Star Trek documentaries, some Star Wars documentaries over there, like some old ones that you cannot find anywhere, that are very hard to find. So Patreon's a good way to support us here on the channel. Our merch store, where Coach designs a crap ton of freaking shirts. And then, of course, Super Chats, where if you want to hear us speak on a topic that we're not hitting on or get our thoughts on something, that's a good way to do that. And the 5th and final way, just being here and smashing that like button. Guys, Culture, John, Loki, how you guys doing today on this nice Friday afternoon?
Doing
Very
pretty
good.
good.
In celebratory mode, man. Smashed those Eagles last night.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
War Eagle.
Yeah, I was gonna watch that Denver Saints game, but after I looked at the score after the game was over, it looked like it wasn't even worth watching.
Well, it looked like it was going to be a complete blowout at halftime. We were up 28-0, and then we had an absolutely terrible third quarter, allowed them to get back in the game as 28-21. But fortunately, their coach decided to do what most coaches do now and follow the analytics and go for it on 4th and 1. Where they're at like that 50-yard line, we stopped them, completely changed the momentum of the game, and we ran away with it from there in the fourth quarter and beat them 42-21.
Nice. Yep, we were, of course, had our Thursday night live stream last night, and then we did part 2 of Coach's first playthrough through Alien Isolation. You guys can actually see that on our live stream section on our YouTube channel if you guys haven't seen it. We will probably get into part 3 of that tonight. We do it for about an hour. Go through it for about an hour. Loki, you got a night show tonight?
Yeah, late show will be on at 10 p.m. Central.
Yep. We'll be done before you start your show, and I actually might come over there because I think work's going to be pretty slow tonight. So I might come hang out over there after the gaming stream. Culture, what do you got going on? How things going over there in your world?
I'm trying to drop a video every day. It's easier now that John's, writing articles that I want to cover. And of course, we're always trying to drop.
Are you saying that I was not previously?
I have to give you a little bit of a hard time every time. You know that. It's fine. It's fine. No, you do a great job. You always have. And honestly, the gaming channel's going great guns. We're trying to drop content over there daily as well. So lots of fun stuff on that game stuff. Loki's working his butt off over there. John makes an appearance once in a while. I need to have you guest on a story. In fact, that'd be something super fun. I've got at least, I don't know, John, 4 gaming stories so far today, maybe 5. It's been wild.
I mean, I could make a video on like almost every article I've written today, but you got to pick and choose, right?
Yeah, you do. You really do. That's true. I mean, we've got it's a ton of content, and I'm just having a good time. I mean, honestly, this being able to be here and have you run the show and just have us hang out and just, hang out as friends and chatting it up, that's always a good thing. So I love this.
Yep. Yeah, I was actually, after our stream last night, was actually in Matt Cave Gaming stream last night, where he's going through his very first playthrough of the OG Final Fantasy VII.
Nice.
I've been over there kind of helping him out and watching that, and that's been a lot of fun. He's got to do some grinding on his characters though, for sure. I was trying to get him to learn the enemy skill beta from the giant snake, but he's not strong enough yet. So
there you go.
But yeah, it's been fun. But speaking of articles and stories, our good friend John Trent here. First topic: Gina Carano gets another big win against freaking crappy Disney. As the court rejects Disney's attempt to block Discovery as it appeals to dismiss the case. Now, this is just more great news. So she dropped a tweet on this yesterday. I'm not going to go through this entire article because I want to get you guys to chime in, but I am going to hit just the main parts here. Gina got another big win in her lawsuit against Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm as Judge Shirlene Peace Garnett rejected Disney's request to block Discovery. They do not want Discovery, guys.
No, they do not.
As it appealed its failed motion to dismiss to the Ninth Circuit. Carano shared the victory on Twitter, I refuse to call X, writing, after the judge denied Disney's request to dismiss my case, Disney requested permission to immediately appeal that decision to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals and delay all discovery while that appeal takes place. Yesterday, October 16, 2024, we learned that the judge denied Disney's unusual request. I'm obviously very pleased with the opportunity to keep moving forward with the judicial process and into discovery, she revealed. While I wish this was not necessary, as it is not my desire to be in this battle in court, I will not shrink away from it because it's hard or uncomfortable. Carano concluded, again, a huge thanks to all of you who have shown me support daily, to my incredible lawyers, and to Elon Musk. Elon's the man. And the people at Twitter for the opportunity to continuing this lawsuit and seeking justice onward.
They are paying the bills. They are paying the bills for this.
Yeah, 100%. And then, of course, here is her tweet in the order, the denial to put Discovery off. And so now we're going to be moving.
Page, absolute, just the judge just telling Disney to take a hike.
Yeah, and this is a Democrat appointed judge.
Yep.
So Disney
in
thought
California.
In California. So Disney probably thought that they had somebody on their side probably in this whole thing, and they do not.
If you read this 10-page document, I think the judge takes personal affront to the fact that they even tried to do this, because I think they're like insulting her intelligence and her knowledge of the law in their motion. At least that's what it seems like, just kind of perusing some of the document. I mean, she seemingly did not like what Disney did here at all.
You can't blame her, though. I mean, this is something that's non-traditional, right? I mean, it does happen once in a while, but it's a once in a very great while. And the Ninth Circuit would likely have turned it back anyway, because it wouldn't want to establish a pathway, a precedent that this is a common occurrence. So right, Disney was really just trying to stall. This is a stall technique. Again, what is this? This is the rule I've been trying to teach for 4 years. When you have no power, delay. Doesn't matter if it's politics or business or whatever. If you are coming at it from a position of strength, delay. Ask for a continuance. Ask for an extension. Go in and thwart your enemies by stalling. That's all you got to do. That's all they can do.
I 100% agree. And like I said, in that they do not want Discovery to happen in this. And now that we're going to be moving into that, man, there's going to be so much stuff that's going to come out on this. Like literally, we are going to have so much content and stuff to talk about with all the Discovery that's going to come up in this. It's going to be insane. I cannot wait for all this Discovery stuff to drop.
I
John,
think some of my favorite commentary is probably going to be Andrew Esquire over at Legal Mindset. He's basically been saying this the entire time, that this is a big win. This is going to be a big win for Gina Carano. He said that the motion to dismiss was just going to be another Disney L. I mean, this guy has been proven. His predictions have been proven right every single time, especially when it comes to Disney stuff. Obviously, with the Siftod stuff and all of that, that was kind of what he worked in. So obviously, he really had an idea on what that is. But even here, he has an understanding of what's happening. And I think I'm gonna be like loving his videos, because he's just gonna have so much fun being like, I told you so. I told you so.
Yeah, well, and it's funny that you say that, because you actually linked one of his videos in this article where he predicts this this whole dismissal of this, and basically says, and you guys can go over there to that Park Place and see this video and go through the article, and of course the 10-page documents out there if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, he actually predicted that.
Yeah, and look, I mean, the Siftod stuff we knew was going to go the other way too. I mean, he's been at the forefront of it. Andrew's a great follow. You should follow him on social. You should follow him on YouTube. Yeah. He does great stuff.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Love him. And John isn't half bad either. So
I'm not a legal expert or a legal analyst, but Andrew obviously is. So
really, are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Yeah, Loki, thoughts on all this?
Oh, I want to see the fireworks. I want to see them mess up. I want to see them try and push this judge around. I want to see Disney do all the things that Disney likes to do and get a flat out no. We all know that, yes, there are some people in the judicial system that don't exactly play by the rules and do their own thing.
Yeah.
But obviously this judge plays hardcore with the rules and is like, no, how dare you even ask me to do this? You should know better. And I'm starting to really enjoy when I hear a judge say, you should know better than this. Why did you even do this? Why did you even bring this to my attention? Why have you brought this? Why have you tried to prosecute? I love it when I hear stuff like this. So let Disney keep thinking, oh, we got this in the bag and we're going to get our way, and get shocking turn after turn after turn in this entire situation. Way to go, Gina. Support Gina. Wonderful, nice person, wonderful human being who only said we should stop letting the government push us into hating our neighbors. That's all she said.
Yeah,
that's all she said. Don't let history repeat itself, and don't let people push you against hating your neighbors. This is how this happened in the past. Don't let history repeat itself. And for that, she's been publicly prosecuted. They witch hunted her. They pulled out the pitchforks and the torches trying to cancel her. And bravo for standing up and going, you know what? I don't want to be in court. I don't look forward to this, but I'm going to do it because I got pushed around and it's not right. And it is not right. So bravo for her. I'm glad. I'm win after win after win for Gina.
Yeah. I mean, she is a fighter. So, you know.
Hey, all she does is win. That's the song that keeps popping into my head.
All she does is win, 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 win.
That's right.
Yeah. So yeah, great news on that front. The Gina Carano Disney lawsuit stuff. And man, Disney, they are tied up in so many freaking lawsuits. The one that really gets me is the $50,000 the wrongful death. The guy whose wife died there at one of the parks, and he was just wanting $50,000 to help with funeral costs and all that, and that wouldn't give him any money. Did you hear about that case, John?
No. What happened here?
Yeah,
Culture, right? Is that what
Yeah,
you're talking
yeah.
about, the app? Oh,
Yeah, and they basically said we're not paying him because he signed up for Disney Plus.
Oh yes, okay.
That one.
I am familiar. I
the
remember
food
that.
death, the food allergy.
Yeah,
death.
the food allergy. Yeah, that
Yeah.
when they were at parks.
Disney's just trying to.
People are so immoral, man.
Yeah, well, you know what? Disney backed off of that, by the way.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Did they pay him?
They got called out. No. They weren't using that as a to thwart his efforts. They pulled back from that because it was such bad optics. They also got written up and just absolutely terrorized by their peers, by the lawyers, multiple law
Legal
journals. Yeah. But journals and publications came out just beating Disney to pieces on that. Just like you can't do this. It's not going to fly, and you can't tell
bad.
Yeah, you can't tell
Cat's
200
out of the bag on that one. How many times has Disney been embroiled in something where the optics are bad?
But
at some point, you would think that they would do some kind of introspection and realize that maybe there's some kind of root cause at why they keep getting themselves embroiled in all of these absolutely disgusting, immoral, bad optics.
Well,
imagine that. Go ahead, Culture.
Well, no, I was just going to say 240 million people found out that Disney was going to hose them over whenever they could. So that's terrible. And again, that was what a lot of the articles were saying. I'll have to go look those up again and send them to you, John. It was fascinating watching them just get scolded by all these attorneys. Anyway, go ahead, Loki. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, imagine you're on a Disney ride, something malfunctions, something happens, God bless, to your spouse, and you're like, what am I going to do? And then you find out, well, you can't do anything because you have Disney Plus on your TV. And when you accepted Disney Plus, you promised to never go after Disney in any way, shape, or form for anything wrongful that they've ever done. And you're like, what? Oh, yeah, that's in the TOS. How long before they're like, you owe us your soul because you signed up for Disney Plus? It's insanity like that you're like, what an evil D-bag company. How evil can you get that you're like, well, you don't get anything because you have Disney Plus. You have Disney Plus account, so we're not going to give you anything because you signed away all your rights to everything in your life because you were on Disney Plus. That is some low down, underhanded. This is why gamers read the TOS when they get a game. At least I do. I know there's some people that don't, but this is why I read the TOS and find out what my rights are before I start playing a video game.
Yeah.
I'm Culture, you might know a little bit more on this, but are there any lawsuits against a lot of these like user agreements and TOS that are just absolutely absurd crap that have nothing to do with why you're even clicking accept or agree?
Yeah, it's actually funny that you mentioned that. A lot of companies will put ridiculous things in their TOS all the time, and they just assume that people aren't going to be able to afford to attack them on it. So very rarely does it happen, but there have been some. I can't recall specifically. There was one over a game product, I remember, and there's one currently that's at odds because I think it was Ubisoft pulled that racing game.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've seen that one. And then Ubisoft also the Ubisoft one is they were working with Meta to basically give data to Meta.
The
Ubisoft Plus or whatever. And that's not actually in their TOS.
Right.
So they're being sued by these two guys they sold their data.
Right, but there's also one because of they pulled down the crew. You remember, or whatever the racing game was. It may not be Ubisoft. It may be something else. But
that's
the game
Ubisoft. Ubisoft is the crew. I know that there was like a movement over in like Europe. I didn't know that there was a lawsuit or anything. I know they were trying to challenge them. But
I'll see if I can find because again, it's just I was going through. I had at one point in time I had up to 30 tabs of stories of like the descent of Ubisoft.
I
know that they did say that they were going to create offline mode for like the crew too after they received all of the backlash for literally like taking the first one completely down. You can't get it on Steam, you can't get it on Ubisoft Plus, etc. And I think that there might be I think that might be what you're talking about. There might be some legal challenges that have come up from that because I think that that's wrong, right? Obviously, you don't want to force someone to like put up the servers, but at the same time, they sold you a game that like you should
Now
own.
you can't
it, right?
play.
The
Yeah.
whole leasing thing,
Yeah.
I find that just a bunch of BS baloney. And I have a feeling that eventually there will probably be some kind of class action lawsuit against that if these companies indeed try and do stuff like that, where they're like, you don't really own those games. It's like, no, I do. I paid like the money for it. Your TOS is just trying to exploit me.
Yeah,
I
think that
I think that would be just. I think that's,
Well-
and I think that's where we'll see these things go. If they
So
eventually get challenged.
recently, John, what happened? The FTC is actually going to make it easier for you to cancel your subscription services, whatever they are. There's a new rule that they're putting in place. So you could do the same
That'll be
thing
nice.
with. They could do the same thing with these video games because the complaints coming about Amazon and all these other things. Yeah, it's really easy to. You could really ingratiate yourself to a large populace if you created a law that basically said if you sell something to anybody, it's theirs. It is not a lease. You cannot, if you are providing something that you are leasing and the person enters into an agreement that would normally be a purchase, I have a feeling that we're going to need these laws in the future to protect consumers because
the tactics they're using now are so deceptive. It's like, you're just leasing it. Like, no, I paid full price for the game. If I paid that at a GameStop or Best Buy or Walmart or got the physical copy, I get the game and I own it. Just because I happen to get those files that are on the disc or whatever it happens to be, the chip with Nintendo. What do you call the Switch stuff? What do you call that?
Those are cartridges. Those are cartridges. I still call it a cartridge, but yeah.
So the cartridge, the chip for Switch or whatever you want to call it, that has the files on there. I mean, you own that physically. Like there's no difference materially, in my opinion, between those two things. Besides the fact that you're using a platform to download one, and the other one you went to a retailer and purchased it.
I mean, it kills preservation. This is okay. Yeah. So this whole room in here, besides the records, is game preservation. Game preservation. There's game preservation on that wall. Nick knows. As soon as I see something, I'm like, ooh, yeah, it's so hard to find. I'm like, and I put it up. Why? Because I'm not going to play it. I'm going to preserve it. It is here to be preserved for another generation. I'm keeping them safe. They are entrusted with me. I'm holding onto them and making sure that at some point another generation has a chance to play that. Guess what? All these TOS games, all these games that are online only, all these games like Concord, games like the Crew, games, all the MMOs. And the MMOs aren't that really bad. You understand that you're never going to just be able to play them offline. But a lot of the other games that are single player games, once they're unplugged, that's it. You can't get in them. You cannot play them. You cannot keep going. So once they pulled the Crew, once they unplugged that, that's it. You could plug it into a console. You can try and update it. You cannot get on it and play it. Why? Because you can't get into the server and connect, and it just won't work. It'll say server offline, cannot connect to game, cannot play game.
Yeah, a lot of old PC games are like that, like the Battle for Middle Earth 1 and 2, Rise of the Witch King. All
you can
those.
still play those.
Yeah, you can play them single player.
Yes,
but yeah, that's why we always say buy physical. Buy physical copies of entertainment, games, all that. Real quick, Jay, hell to you. Jay has gifted 5 Echo Base Network memberships. Hell to you, good sir. And welcome to the EBN member family, to the 5 of you that got EBN membership. This membership video is for you guys as soon as I can click it and find it. Oh, found it. All right.
Hey, Nick, before you move on.
Yeah.
Is this what you're talking about?
Yes, and I had the physical copies of that, and I don't know where they are. I can't find them. They're probably in a box somewhere, or maybe I sold them, or I can't remember. But those games on eBay, man, those things are going high dollar for those.
Those are my original copies too. So this is what I'm talking about when I talk about preservation.
Yeah.
And Nick, I'm just going to remind you, blame John.
Always
his fault.
It's always John's fault. But with that said, culture, what are you bringing us today?
Oh wow, it's early in the thing. Well, you know what? I'm actually going to be covering a John story. Believe it or not.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
he makes it so easy.
That information place. That's right.
Yeah.
We have another gaming story for you, kids. This one is Tales of Kenzera Zhao. And this developer flat out lied to everybody, this Boubacar Salim dude, that everything was great with this game. The developer laid the entire team. John seemed quite pleased with this. And puts entire games division on hiatus, which means peace, after previously claiming the game sales were fine. Well, what a nice title. My goodness, that's almost a paragraph in and of itself. But as you move into this announcement, it's pretty wild, because in a post to X, Surgent Studios shared, we've decided to put the work of the Surgent Games division on hiatus while we secure funding for our next project. Yes, perhaps like, the unemployment line you're going to have to step into soon. In the meantime, we've unfortunately had to put our team on notice for redundancy, which means we're not going to make games anymore. Bye. It added, everyone at Surgent worked incredibly hard to create Tales of Kenzera Zhao, a game that truly comes from the heart. Their passion, creativity, and dedication are nothing short of extraordinary. There are still a couple of exciting updates coming down the pipeline for Zhao, like when you turn the servers off. The company included, our team has created a prototype for a bold new project. Ooh, a prototype. It's darker, edgier, and more visceral than our first game, but it retains all Zhao's high-octane combat and cultural depth. Okay, cultural depth. We mean more virtue signaling.
All right, culture. You missed. I didn't even talk about this in the video I did for this. This guy literally just said that he laid off his entire staff. They're no longer going to be making games. And then he's like, oh, but we have a prototype that we paid all those people to make this for, but they no longer work with the company anymore. I totally missed this. When you're reading it now, it is glaring at me. I can't.
Yeah, they have to show it to somebody else so they can get funding again. That's what this is. It's like, we have this bigger concept and we want to show it to somebody who is going to give us money, because that's what we're in this for. We're going to virtue signal our way to more money. And, don't pay too close attention of just how close I am, how big a pal I am with the founders of Sweet Baby Inc., which is also in this story, because John doesn't miss anything. So help us we're looking for a partner, John. That's the line that I didn't make it to when we stopped, but we're looking for a partner. No, that's the thing. That's where the money is. We need somebody to give us money.
Financing.
Maybe can't help out.
Dude, BlackRock's not coming in to help you out or save you at all.
Who could help them? Sony and Ubisoft, because they fund Take This, the organization that was begging for $80,000 earlier this year.
Oh, did they fund them?
I don't know if they give them money. They say they sponsor their mental health awards or something like that. So I assume they give them money for other things too. It's I sent that to Smash to see if he'd cover that, because
I didn't get a chance to follow up on that, John, when we found that a few weeks ago. I was like, Take This is a struggling thing that's going to die. It didn't die then?
I went to see if they had shut down, because they said they would have to shut down at the end of September, and it's obviously October now. But they clearly haven't shut down yet. But they posted this on the 10th. I put it in the private chat, Nick, and it literally says that their sponsors are Sony and Ubisoft.
Well, not as much, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, so Okay, here we go. Incredibly proud of our team's effort. What did I finish on?
You finished it. You finished it.
All right. So yeah, unfortunately, Surgeon.
Oh, you hadn't got to this part yet. Okay.
Yeah. Fortunately, Surgent has joined the growing number of game studios impacted by layoffs this year, with just over a dozen people affected.
Make better games. Better games.
This is all gaslighting, right? He's trying to say that, like, oh, there's been all these other layoffs, etc. But we know Elden Ring proves this is just complete and utter fake. They literally gave their people raises after the wild success of the DLC, which the name is escaping me right now. I'm sure Loki can tell me what it is.
Tell us.
I'm totally blanking on it right now.
Elden Ring expansion, Loki. What was it called?
I don't remember.
Come on.
Anyways, they sold like 5 million games. Obviously, we just Bandai Namco. Obviously, they have Unknown Awakening 9, which is or Unknown 9 Awakening, whatever it's called, complete and utter failure. They just launched, but they just did Dragon Ball as well. Sparking Zero, 3 million,
and that went bonkers
sales in first 24 hours. We also know that Metaphor Refantazio. I think they did over 1 million in their first.
Yeah, that thing went crazy too. Yeah.
So and obviously, we're not even talking about the probably the most successful game of the year, which is
Shadow of the Old Tree.
Black Myth.
Shadow of the Old Tree is Golden King, but yeah, but Black Myth Wukong.
Yeah.
20 million or something like that in the first 4 days or something.
No, 10 million in the first 3.
Okay, yeah, and I think 20 in like the first
20 million.
Month or something like that.
Yeah.
So
Nintendo gave their game division raises this year.
Yeah, they did.
We Echoes of Wisdom from what I'm seeing looks like it is a absolute smash hit.
It's doing well
for Nintendo as well. So
Shift Up did well too with Stellar Blade.
But
they posted
Eve
their
awesome.
Largest revenue ever for that company. Obviously, a lot of it coming from their mobile game Nikkei. But obviously, Stellar Blade helping that as well. So this is just a complete and utter garbage narrative because most of it is happening from these companies that have embraced all of these garbage policies, garbage ideas, and they're making games that people don't want to play, don't want to buy.
Yeah, well, Absy Babsy here had to get rid of everybody in his company, and it also comes less than 6 months after Surgent Studios founder himself, CEO Abubakar Salim, claimed that the game sales were fine, despite announcing he was discounting the game. You remember that, John? That was fun.
Yeah, and the player base was like,
"What?"
We'll get to it. It's here.
Yeah. So he specifically addressed the game sales as part of a thread, clarifying his comments made in the video. He specifically addressed the claims that the game was not selling well, claiming it was false. John, I loved your snapback, by the way. I'm glad you included it in the article. But he wrote, the game isn't selling well. Also false. I've addressed this on an AMA Reddit. Ask Me Anything Reddit. The numbers some are circulating are a fraction of our actual playership, and they're being shared in bad faith by people who are wanting to provide proof that their harassment campaign. Did people harass him?
No.
It's more gaslighting. He's playing victim.
Has been successful.
I guess, could be considered harassment by him.
You have to be known.
That's the sweet baby. So
you have to be known in the gaming community before someone can harass you in the gaming community. And most gamers don't know who the hell this guy is. So no.
Yeah, I mean, and his 25% stake in Sweet Baby, which we'll look at in just a moment, really doesn't amount to much. Apparently, it didn't give him a lot of support here. But anyway, so leaving off at harassment campaign has been successful in punishing us for daring to take up space. I don't care if you take up space, bro. You don't stand anywhere you want, but I'm going to tell you right now, nobody's buying your stuff.
No one stopped him from like making his game. Like, what is he even talking?
It's weird. Yeah, well,
we just didn't buy your game, bro.
Yeah. We're taking space. You're taking up space on shelves. I mean, I don't even know that they got a lot of physical copies out there in the world. But anyway, as for his comments on Reddit, he stated, "It was a busy time. We did good though. It helps being on multiple platforms. It's all about longevity and continuing forward. Longevity. What 3 months ago."
Yeah.
How's that longevity working out?
Not very good. This comment by him did not age well.
Company did last a year.
Dude, but they did beat Concord, John. You got to give them credit for that. So anyway.
I mean, Firewalk is still around. So they haven't been shut down as far as I know yet.
Well, okay. Well, I'm just waiting for the day. Well, they're trying to reboot that game. We'll talk about that in the future. But anyway, the more people share
rumors based on file updates, which Could have been automated.
It's possible, right?
Or
It was all the
scheduled,
DLC that they were going to do. Like they were going to remember they were
Yeah, they were
supposed to
doing
push
those
up the
monthly-
weekly or monthly or whatever,
weekly,
like
monthly, whatever
the shorts. Yeah, the little
propaganda shorts.
yeah, this is why this
Vignettes.
character is important. Yeah,
Yeah.
vignette.
The
Thank you.
vignettes.
The vignette.
The vignettes. I
Yeah.
forgot about the vignettes.
Yeah, the weekly or monthly vignettes. So learn about this character and what sleeping bag they crawled into last night and with who and why.
Their
And
orientation. Oh.
They thought they had the next League of Legends. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's what they thought they had.
well, yeah. Anyway, the more people share and talk about the game, the more it snowballs. Yes, it did snowball, just not in sales. It snowballed down the hill. So we hope to continue building. I love your comeback, dude. It was so good. Anyway,
Show the numbers.
yeah. Just show the numbers. Just show them. And so let's show the numbers right now, John. Here they are. Obviously, game sales were not fine, or the company would not have laid off the entire staff. Furthermore, it was apparent that the sales were not good, given SteamDB reported that the game had almost no players playing it. Almost no. Come on, John. There's 5.
Yeah, and it peaked at 10. I mean, come on, you gotta give them some credit.
That was in the last 24 hours. But
Yeah.
Okay.
you see the all-time 287 right there.
But the all-time peak, 6 months, 287. Look,
Wow.
Steam is not the only and the only place that we can get this data. We can go to the trophies site and get a rough idea of what's going on and things like that. But honestly, there is nobody playing this game. And this guy tried to obfuscate that, tried to gaslight everybody, and what do they call that? Toxic positivity his way out of a terrible situation that he put himself in. So
And Steam has the largest market share too. When it let's be real.
Yes.
Like it's
it's definitely a baseline, right? It's like
growing.
Yeah,
They posted their biggest numbers ever like last month.
Yeah, because guess what? People would rather use Steam because they trust Steam and they trust their launcher and their sales system, and the fact that when they buy a game there and it's garbage, they can return it within a 2-hour window usually.
And they're not gonna cancel gamers like Cabrutus Rambo over creating a Steam curator list. I think that gained Steam a ton of
good faith. Yeah. People hold them in high regard. I still do. I think Steam's the best way to go. I'd rather go through them than to go through the Ubisoft garbage or the GOG gets a lot of public promotion excitement. But anyway, regardless. So this poor performance was not unsurprising given Surgent hired Sweet Baby Inc. to work on the game, and it was subsequently added to the Sweet Baby Inc. Detected Steam Curator. Hey, what's going on? Matt Cave. The list effectively serves as a boycott list for gamers who do not want to play games worked on by Sweet Baby Inc., given the company's stated goals are to burn the video game industry to the ground. And you did a good story on that, too. And insert woke ideology along the way. Guys, you want to go and finish up this story, but basically, John has outlined just how wonderful it is to work with Sweet Baby in here, highlighting all the pros that you get when you launch a game with them. And just a reminder, as I said before, I wanted to get to this one last bit. These are the initial shareholders for the company founded, the LLC founded in the UK, Sweet Baby Inc., which went under the name Bébé Secret Ltd.
Wow. They're so proud of their company that they changed up their entire website and hid all kinds of stuff.
This is fascinating because, as you can see here, Bubukar Salim, the guy that was just whining about his game and his studio dying, owns 25%.
He did. I think he
of the company. Oh, did he sell them?
Yeah.
For 6.
I don't know if he sold it, but he resigned as a director right here. So
and that doesn't mean he lost his shares.
Right. That's true. But I don't know. I haven't gone back to look at that the files on that yet.
Yeah, I would love to see these.
This is one of the reasons why so many people are going back to retro gaming. And getting retro gaming consoles and ROMs and going back and playing old games, because modern crap like this, people they're just not on board with it, and they're just not going to pay for it. And I mean, these companies and these people are like destroying the gaming industry.
That's their goal, right? They said
Yeah.
that's what the guy said, like that Cameron Wild, who literally works for Sweet Baby Inc. Said his goal is to burn the video game industry to the ground.
But what did Kim Belair just say in that TED Talk?
I still haven't watched through that yet. I'll be honest. There's been so much stuff I haven't gotten through that.
You need to, dude. I can't wait because you can write a string of stories on just how evil she is just from that one video.
Well, I mean, I doubt she said anything new, right? I mean, 2019, she's very clear on what her goals were for the company. She's made it very clear that the company isn't about trying to push a veneer of wokeness, implying, I think, or being explicit that she is indeed trying to push woke ideology. She's described gamers as white picky babies, basically, or the target audiences are picky babies or something, I think is what she said. She's made it clear that she is trying to literally race change characters. She said that in the 2019 Game Developers Conference, where she was working with a client that had a Frenchman with like the beret and like the stereotypical French stuff. And she's like, well, why don't we make them a person of color? Like, and that's what, like, that is what she tries to do. I mean, she literally admits all of this stuff in that 2019 video. So I assume that she's probably just reiterating all the stuff she says, while at the same time saying that she's the victim when she was not only kind of running cover for her employees who tried to cancel Cabrutus Rambo, but she was running to the media trying to cancel him as well through her media allies and trying to work through them.
Yeah. I did see that it looked like Square Enix had kicked Sweet Baby to the curb and that they were off their list. Have you guys seen anything on that?
Yeah, so they did before they completely redesigned their website. They had removed Sweet Baby from Sweet Baby removed Square Enix from their client list, but it has been discovered by Cabrutus Rambo that what is that? I don't know if I have it up here. That they did work on this upcoming game that is coming out soon. Life is something sweet or something. Life is Strange, I think.
Life is Strange.
Oh, yeah.
And Sweet Baby worked on that game. It's unclear if they've worked on any others, but we also, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think it really matters because we've got Square Enix out here promoting the LGBT plus agenda on X, and then obviously they're doing the whole like type A, type B body types in Dragon Quest 3. HD 2D remake and all of this stuff. So this is kind of where I'm at on this stuff. Like obviously Sweet Baby Inc. is kind of a good focal point because they're very explicit about what they're doing, but these bigger developers are literally hiring them knowing all of this stuff. Like this isn't like stuff that they were keeping secret, right? Yeah. They're giving these presentations at the Game Developer Conference. They're giving these presentations at like Game Devs of Color Expo. These are all public. This stuff is all on YouTube. They're saying this stuff. It was on their website, what their goals were, what they were trying to do. And you've got Square Enix, you've got Ubisoft, you've got Santa Monica Studio, you've got all of these. You've got, I think probably Microsoft is working with them as well. All these studios working with this company. They know exactly what they're doing. And a lot of these companies have people that believe in that same stuff too. Just look at Ubisoft's website, look at Activision, Microsoft's website. They all have these diversity and inclusion stuff. Sony has it. I mean, they all have
Nintendo of America's got it too.
Yeah.
And don't forget what the creator of Dragon Age said. He said, literally, we're being told we won't be able to release games if we do this. They'll have 18 plus. Yeah, Dragon Quest. Did I say Dragon Warrior? I'm old school.
You said Age.
No, Dragon Age. Sorry, Dragon
Quest. Veilguard on the mind.
I've got Veilguard on the mind. You've gotta do this, or you can't come out with the game in America, or they're gonna slap a MA sticker on it. We've got to do this, or else. This is what they are being convinced at Squaresoft that they have to do. Square Enix is going to have to clean house. Again, I'm old school. I'm saying the old name. Clean house, get rid of these people that are telling you that, and do your own thing. That is when you were the greatest. BioWare was the same way. When you were doing your own thing and you could just create and be the artist you needed to be, we loved you. When you started handcuffing yourself and saying, well, we can't do this because of blah, 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 and we can't have you looking at Miranda's butt, yada, yada, yada. All the artistic freedom is stifled and no one wants to buy your crap.
I don't want that stuff done, right? And I'm going to tell you something right now. Slap an MA17 on a game. Gamers don't care.
Yeah.
Gamers don't care. And you know what? The kids are still going to end up with the game. The kids are still going to end up with the game. You know, it's like GTA 5, definitely MA17, right? But did that stop anybody under the age of 10 from playing that game? No. Did it stop anybody under the age of 17 from playing that game? No. Should it have? Maybe. Parents probably should be paying closer attention to what the content of these games are. But the only reason they're being labeled MA17, if it's because something's a little too sexy, that's a problem, right? You know, I mean, we were looking at a PG movie in the Marvel universe where Scarlett Johansson is wearing a skin tight bodysuit for 80% of the film. Yeah. It didn't offend that many people. And again, PG, I feel like PG games are, everywhere. And I think that MA17s are, typical now. Go ahead.
Do you remember God of War when you had to pleasure the ladies in the bathhouse. in the bathhouse? So I remember getting that game, and it was late at night. I was at my brother's, and my parents were there. But we were all at his place in Arkansas visiting. And I was like, dude, have you seen this new God of War game? And so I'm showing him this part. It's late. Everybody's asleep. My dad comes walking out in the living room right in the middle of it, while I'm pounding this girl in this God of War game. And, she's making all the moaning noises and all that. And he's like, what is this? I was like, oh, crap. This is God of War game. But, you don't
keep your fingers crossed. The HD remaster collection is coming out for the trilogy. So for current day systems and PC. So keep your fingers crossed they don't mess with that.
Yeah, hopefully not. And also if Square buys into all this crap and screws up the part 3 of Final Fantasy VII Remake, oh man, people are gonna revolt, which a lot of people aren't really happy with the series. Right now, I love it. I think Rebirth should get Game of the Year. I think it's excellent, but yeah, this is starting to get a little ridiculous with this whole Sweet Baby Inc. crap. Oh, Matt Cave. Remember when Nintendo covered Catwoman's cleavage in the Wii U port of Arkham City? I did not have. I actually do got a Wii U, but I did not play Arkham City on there. I didn't even know that they did that.
Did they do that on the Switch too?
Probably, if it's on there.
I guarantee you. They do have they have the trilogy on there now.
Yeah. Which, if you guys aren't subbed to Matt Cave Gaming, go check him out. What was that, John?
Is that on the physical cover, or is that in the game?
In the game. Yeah. Yeah. I did not know that. Which I haven't. Like I said, I didn't play it on there. But moving along, guys. Loki.
That Arkham City game is fantastic, though.
Yeah.
I highly recommend.
Yep. Yeah. What do you got for us?
It's funny, we've been talking about game preservation. I gotta, there we go. The future is here.
What is this?
But it's a link to the past. Look what I did there. It's a link to the past. This is a brand new console from Analog. And guess what it is? It is I'm going to click this little button right here. Let's go. It is an N64. These are the controllers. These are the wireless controllers for their N64. These will go for $249.99. They are 4K HD ready. So you're going to be playing N64 games in, I'll share it. Hold on. I for whatever reason, it opened up a whole new tab. So here you go.
A whole new tab.
A whole new tab. I don't know why it did that. There's your new controller, wireless controllers for your N64, and they look slick. I like them. I hated the 3-prong evil pitchfork.
I love it. I love it.
Looks like
you
a Switch controller.
You can say bad things about it all day long, Loki, but you're wrong. It's awesome.
Yeah.
They have plugins in the front of the console, so you can plug the original N64 controllers if you don't want to use the new wireless ones.
And this is just you just plug your cartridges right in.
You just plug your cartridges in and play it. This is okay. So let me explain what they had to do here. They had to make an N64 clone without cloning any of Nintendo's software or proprietary hardware. That means they had to come up with a completely new system to play your cartridges on that have none of Nintendo's code, none of Nintendo's stuff. And they can look like it. It can look similar, but it can't be it. And from what I am hearing now, we may be looking at a PS1, possible PS2, and original Xbox.
Dude, the best NASCAR games were on the PS2, and that's awesome.
That is awesome.
The best NASCAR games. That's where we're going.
Well, yeah, no, I have games. Okay, so like in my big truck, like there's a PlayStation in there, right? I have a PS2 in the big truck, and like I've been like dying to play those games on like a better quality system. That is awesome sauce. I mean, because I literally have to go and sit in my truck to play some of these NASCAR games because they after that, man, they started to suck and then they disappeared.
So this is a nice little surprise when I got the email for it, because I'm subscribed to Analog. I get their newsletters. I get all this stuff because I like what they're doing. I'm a preservationist. I love preserving games. I love the ability to play games, not just, the not TOS way, but the real way. That's why I'm a collector. Nick's seen me go nuts at the gaming shows of, they got this, I'm and filling my bag up with goodies because I want to make sure there's copies out there that survive. And I know where they're gonna go here. Nobody's gonna mess with them, nobody's gonna chew on them, nobody's gonna scratch them. They're going to shelf, they're gonna live on the shelf. And they're going to be there in case I do want to take one out, be very careful, put it in a system, because I do have some systems that have been adapted. You will pay this price just to get a good 4K HDMI or HDMI hookup on your Xbox. You'll pay about $250 to get a good, actual, soldered HDMI connection on your Xbox. I will pay that for the Nintendo equivalent. So I'm excited. I'm
controller.
I will get a black one. I will probably be getting a black one. But the fact that it plays every single game that came out on N64, this will play it. And it's not something, as much as I really like them, I got one right somewhere. Hold on. As much as I like this stuff, and I do have all these in the boxes, and I've got a couple that aren't, that I've modded. As much as I love these are better. Why? Because you can play the original games on them and you don't have to violate a TOS to add more games. Because if there's anything I heard about these is, it's cool, but you can't add anything and you can't play your original games. This is the stuff we want. So that's what I've got for you today. I'm not trying to sell it to you. It does have forward ports. I don't know if I can. It's got.
And they got a Game Boy one?
Oh, yeah, they got Game Boys. Oh, yeah, they got the pockets.
Wasn't the Z button like the trigger on the original 64 controllers? Where's it on those controllers?
I think it is on the triggers.
One of the other triggers.
It's the triggers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, hold on. Let me see if I can get a different
I'm
picture.
always going to play with my actual controller because anybody who can't play on that isn't a gamer.
No, it just goes back to that.
The pitchfork. The pitchfork controller.
Anybody who can't play on the pitchfork is not a gamer. They're weak sauce.
So I never liked the pitchfork. I can play on the pitchfork. I just never. It's so
PlayStation won out on that. They had a better design.
Yes, PlayStation, and that's become kind of like the standard. So the Xbox and the PlayStation remotes have been very much the standard. I actually like the Xbox controllers better because of the thumbstick placement. I like them more like at an angle.
So did So
But-
you probably didn't like the nunchucks then.
No, I was fine with the nunchucks. I was absolutely fine with the nunchucks. It's different.
Oh,
It was
I hate
different enough that I was like, oh, cool. It's kind of like, you got your thing. Sometimes they didn't work perfect, but most of the time with the bowling, I played the heck out of the bowling on the Wii. I loved Wii Sports. That was
still
my
like the
favorite.
nunchucks with the Switch. Those whatever. I put them on like a controller thing that comes with it, or I just use what do they call it, like the Elite controller or whatever that you
Right.
get.
Yeah.
Yes.
I use the Elite now because for the Switch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we get the Switch 2, I'm stoked for that now. And we got to do another update video on that, Loki. I got to confirm all the specs.
I'm
So-
definitely getting the Game Boy one though.
Oh,
There
look
you
at that.
go. There you
yeah.
go.
I literally got Game Boy cartridges
All right,
everywhere.
what color Pokemon do you got there?
I
I have that. I have that Game Boy Color. That's exactly what I
the
have.
same one.
Yep, I
Yeah.
have that one. Yep.
Yeah. So I take this on like road trips if I'm flying somewhere, traveling, and I'll just freaking pop one of these games in and sit there and play it. Like I love the Game Boy. So yeah, I'm definitely so Loki, can you put a link to this company's website in the chat?
Analog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah, right now. It's the Analog 3D. That's the name of the system, not the website. Website's going in right now. It's their Analog company or analog.com, and it's the 3D. So this is the 3D, and they're calling it the most powerful multiplayer system ever designed because it's got 4 control ports in the front of it. So
that
because
is
it's got
freaking awesome.
the 4 control points in the front of it, they're calling it the most powerful multiplayer
GoldenEye's
console.
back.
Oh,
So-
Dude, I love
Yeah.
GoldenEye. So good.
this will
Goldeneye.
probably be something that Coach would probably be interested in getting also. Because man, he would freaking, I would get so mad playing that freaking GoldenEye with him. Oh God!
But
he plays
there
it all
has
the time.
been
So
there has been a PlayStation analog controller seen. There are pictures going around. So
The
if that's
Elite.
true, it's the
will it
one with
connect to
the
this?
thumbsticks. So it's the
Yeah.
original PS1 controller, but it's got thumbsticks and it's wireless. It does not have any of the PS logo on it. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, please tell me Analog is working on a PlayStation 1. I would
Yeah.
love that. I've got my whole PS1 collection over there that I will jump back into, especially with the 4K. I want to be able to play these on the TV. I want to play the old NFL Blitz. I want to play Xenogears. I want to play Final Fantasy. I want to play all that stuff. I've got that on PC. I've got some of the other stuff on PC for PlayStation, but I want to be able to just hook it up, pop game in, and play. That's one of the greatest things about having a gaming collection of very old games is I want to pop them out once in a while and I want to play them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But me and Coach were trying to play Battle for Middle Earth 2. And we had to get Game Ranger accounts and do all these shenanigans on PC to try to get it to work. And console gaming, you slap it in and you go. So yeah, I totally understand where it comes
EA
from.
made them both very, very difficult. They are very of the time games. And one of the problems with EA is if you have more, I believe it's 6. I could be wrong. Anybody in here that knows better than me, by all means, correct me. With the original Dead Space and Dead Space 2 on PC, if you have more than so many cores, the game will not play. There is no patch out there. They've never sent a patch to Steam. There is no patch in EA store. There is no patch out there that's official that will let you play Dead Space 1 and 2, the original releases on PC, if you have so many cores. So if you have more than what they consider to be the all-time max, it just won't boot. It will constantly crash. As soon as you do there's a fan update, there's a fan patch that increases its ability to read how many cores you have. As soon as you do that, it'll play. Or if you want to go in manually and say, okay, turn off these cores and just use these, it will play that way. Much easier way to do it, though, is to patch it with the unofficial patch and let that take care of it. But that's crazy. Those are games of their time, and EA just didn't have the foresight to go, someone's going to want to play these 10 years from now. That's where we're at. That's where we were at then. And that's dead space. Yeah. Not to mention what we've got going on today is what we talked about earlier with games that just shut off and you're never able to play them again. It's sad. We want to keep these games alive. For the ones of us that feel this is important, games are important. It's a history. It's something. It's an age that we went through. We want to keep that alive. Yeah, and this is a beautiful way for analog to do it.
I sold my PS1, my PS2, all the games I ever had for those systems, and I regret it to this day. Now, when I got my PS3 through PS4, PS5, I still have all of it. I'm not selling it ever. So yeah, that's awesome that they're coming out with this, and great story and topic on that Loki. Speaking of NASCAR games on PS2, so my buddy who I was out on tour with, this song that he wrote actually made it on NASCAR 07 on PS2.
I have that's out in my truck right now. I literally have that in the PlayStation right now in the truck.
Yeah.
So.
69 thing they call the balls. 4-barrel Holly and a dual exhaust.
Here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shake and bake, baby.
Yeah.
And there ain't a quarter mile I ever lost. Look at me. I wanna be James Dean. I'll be standing on the pedal, pushing it to the middle, listening to the devil on my shoulder. I don't know where I'm headed, but I bet you I won't come in last. If I'm going fast.
Yeah, so yeah, that was my buddy who I was out on tour with, who I still talk to. I actually just went and saw him not too long ago, a couple months ago. Went and watched him play, but yeah, he got one of his songs that he wrote put into NASCAR 07, which was pretty cool. And I had that game on PS2, but I got rid of all my PlayStation stuff and sold everything.
We'll find you a copy next retro we go to. We'll look for a NASCAR 07.
Yeah, I need to get another PS2 because I don't have one. But if this company's coming out with one, man, I'll just wait and get that.
Well, we don't know how long that's going to be. It's taken them a long time to get to the point where they've done this. I would assume the PS1 would be next because we've seen the controller, and then possibly we'll get a PS2 and an Xbox. I hope anyway. I'm hoping they do it. Give us bigger memory. Give us the same abilities. Give us the stuff. I want to play Halo again with Cowboys from Hell from Pantera in the background as you're playing the game, because you used to be able to do stuff like that. You turn the game music off, and then the CDs you copied internally on the Xbox, you could play that while you were playing. And that's as soon as the flood showed up, Cowboys from Hell. I want to relive that.
Yeah.
So hopefully they do it.
That's awesome. John, you got a topic ready? Well, I know we're at our 1 hour mark, but
do you have toppings? Do you have pizza?
Yeah.
Pizza.
What do you got?
I don't know if this is like something you want to cover, but I just found this stuff absolutely hilarious.
No, everybody gets to cover what they want to cover. It doesn't matter whether I want to cover it or not.
I'm trying to find the one that is really good. But if you want to pull up the first one there, put it in the private chat.
Oh yeah, this is freaking hilarious. Yeah, this is definitely a different direction for the EBN channel here. But I
know that's what I said. I don't really care about the politics. I just find that him roasting these people is just absolutely hilarious to me.
They're eating the dogs.
Yeah,
they're eating the cats.
So Jeremy was streaming this on his D-Day Cobra channel last night, and man, I was rolling. If you guys have not seen this, regardless of what side you stand politically, this is freaking hilarious.
When he said,
go ahead,
sorry.
Loki.
I was just to say when he said the bit about the guys for Kamala, and he's like, I'm not worried because their wives and their wives.
This is it.
Yeah,
don't ruin it.
This is it.
I won't ruin it. Sorry,
Chuck Schumer one, and then I think there's one other one that I shared. Those are
light it up.
This is freaking hilarious.
There's a group called White Dudes for Harris. Have you seen this? White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris? Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me.
That is bomb, dude.
People are voting.
Look at Schumer. Chuck Schumer's laughing at it.
Yeah.
White Dudes for Harris. Anybody know? Are some of you here? White Dudes for Harris? Doesn't sound like it. But I'm not worried about them at all because their wives and their wives' lovers are all voting for me. Every one of those.
Even Gaffigan thinks it's
Gaffigan.
There's a group called White Dudes
are laughing about it. Yeah.
The most recent one I put in is the Schumer one. I think that's probably my favorite, where he kind of just roasts Schumer.
Is this it?
Yeah. This one, no, it's we can do this one too. This one's good too.
Tim Walz.
This is Tim Walz.
I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz. I used to think the Democrats were crazy for saying that men have periods, but then I met Tim Walz.
I
think this one's my favorite right here, though. I think this is the best one.
There's data coming in very, very strong a certain way. I won't tell you what way that is, but Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't it look glum? It looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president.
I think that's my favorite. That one's my favorite.
Very, very strong a certain way. I won't tell you what way.
I just thought that was just some fun, different stuff. I know we covered a bunch of video game stuff and some entertainment stuff, but I don't know. I just found that stuff funny. That
was funny. That was a great address that he gave there last night. There was one, I can't remember what it was. It was about Kamala's husband and if she got in to make sure he stays away from all the nannies or something. And he was like, that was a bad one. I told these idiots, don't put anything in, but and he was cussing in that thing last night. And man, I was rolling. It was freaking hilarious.
But if you notice though, a lot of them are smiling. These are the same people that say he is a threat to democracy. He's a Yahtzee. He's bringing all these people to destroy the nation. He's doing all these things. Don't ever watch him. Don't ever see him again. They're smiling. They're laughing. And it just goes to show you, this is politics.
The attorney
there
general
are people that still like him.
Is literally applauding him during the speech.
Yeah, they like him because he used to be one of them, and they used to hang out with him, and they used to party with him, and they used to laugh at all his jokes. And now this is politics. We're gonna as quick as we can because we don't want you in politics.
But you pointed it out. I mean, he's a New York Democrat. They all loved him until he decided to run for office, and then when he started to look like he was a challenge, they became terrified. The dumb idiot over at NBC that was actually responsible for getting The Apprentice on television came out and apologized and said he would never do it. If I knew now, I would never do that. Well, you know
that
what?
show was huge for them at the time.
I'm like,
No,
I'm like,
that's why he's apologizing. He's apologizing because he built up Trump's reputation even more than what it was, and specifically built it up outside of kind of New York City. I mean, he took Trump national.
Yeah. And but honestly, Trump was already national. He wrote a bunch of books. I have all of his books.
In movies, rap songs.
I started reading his books back when I was in high school. I think his first book released in what, 88, 89? I don't even remember, but I know I started reading his books as soon as they started coming out while I was listening to Rush Limbaugh between my 3 jobs and going to college. So, you know, it's just like, there was an interesting time in politics where people got along, and even though they disagreed, and that existed up until the Clinton era. Clinton era kind of changed some things around and started to peel back layers and created the politics of division with Dick Morris. Dick Morris created the politics of division, and then we got to the Obama era where we now have a government who can lie to us, propagandize us, which you couldn't do before. It was illegal to do. And now it's totally fine. So we are in a different age. But to pretend that these people didn't all hang out, they don't all know each other's dirty laundry, that's false. Because they swim in the same circles.
Yep. He used to have a deal. He used to have a deal with Hollywood. Hey, guys, if you want to come and shoot at my hotel, feel free. I won't ever charge you. Just give me a little cameo. And they'd give him a little cameo in the movie. Kevin running through his hotel. Hey, excuse me, sir. Oh, it's that way. Cinema Woman. He's in Cinema Woman, too. Every time you see his hotel in a movie, he is somewhere in it, whether they cut him or not. That was the deal. Hey, if you can keep it in, guys, keep it in if you can. I totally understand, but thank you for letting me be in your movie, and enjoy my hotel. They all swam in the same circles, just like Culture said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it points to, I think he made a good point there about how these people are kind of like cheering him on, and they're having fun. Like Gaffigan's there cracking up. Like Schumer obviously is trying to, I think he's trying to hold back the laughter because he thinks the jokes are funny too.
Yeah.
So like you can tell that they're all just kind of having a good time at the dinner there.
But that dinner's a tradition, right? It's a tradition for both parties' candidates to be at that Al Smith dinner.
Yep. And she wasn't.
It's almost unheard of for one candidate to skip it. It's only, I don't know that many times. It's less than a handful of times that hasn't, both candidates haven't shown up. You know why? She got nothing. You know, she how do you tell a joke if all you got's word salad?
Well, she's got to keep up the pretense that he is the most. Can
you imagine if she actually was there though, and he's telling these jokes? He's got the crowd in the palm of his hands, and then she's up there and like it's just
cackling,
like, or she's the only one laughing.
Oh, she would have hated it. She would have been so mad. Oh man, it would have been way more uncomfortable than her interview on Fox News the other night, which was a disaster. Oh geez. But guys, that is gonna do it for us here. Friday, another EBN cast. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank all our panelists. Go around the room, Culture, tell everybody what you got coming up, what's going on in your world.
Right now, I'm working on a video that John wrote a story for, so it's another John video coming right at you. A little rumor around the Marvel universe, so that'll be a good time. We got great games stories coming up on That Game Place. I have a bunch of videos to record this weekend, thanks to John. I'm gonna make John look good. Someday he might make me look good. We'll see. I
brought you on my channel, and I don't know
do check out. I don't know. Send me a stylist. Anyway, so we
were on the same page. I was like, I guess I could like maybe find a barber out there.
A barber. Anyway, on that note, do check out my channels, which is Culture Casino. You can find me anywhere. Including Odyssey, Rumble, and Minds and Getter, and of course X, where you can easily communicate with me if you want to tie me into something and you want me to pay attention to something. Just tag me. The other thing is, do check out That Game Place, please and thank you. We are growing. We're almost at 4K subscribers, so we're closing in on that. And do check out the place that I get stories, sometimes write stories, and maybe occasionally take stories from to make videos. It's called That Park Place, so where that guy down there writes. And check out this guy because I do videos with him all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan Matheson for 99-cent super sticker of a mustache. Thank you, kind sir, for that.
A mustache, a mustache.
Yeah, Loki, what's going on in your world? What do you got going on?
We've got the late show tonight. I have to do a voiceover, so I've got a video. It's ready to go. I gotta do a voiceover though for this guy up here. We are going to be looking at the recent release of MechWarrior 5 Clans. I have to do that today so I can get it to him. So as soon as I get out of here, I'm going to get something to eat because I haven't eaten since breakfast this morning. And then I'm going to come back here. I'm going to move the video from one computer over to another, do the recording, move the video back, put it all together, and send it to this guy so he can put it out on dun 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 da 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 da. That game plays, and you guys can see the recently released MechWarrior 5 Clans, which is pretty good. I've heard some people say, "Oh, it's gone well." There's a woman with a mohawk in it, and I'm like, do you realize who these people were? They didn't care about pronouns. They didn't care about none of this stuff. They would just stomp you. They had mean, stompy, 100-ton robots that would smash and bash you. They didn't care about none of that. They were born in test tubes. So it's like, no, there is no woke ideology, BS, blah, blah, blah in MechWarrior 5 Clans. They are killers. They are hardcore Spartan-like killers. So go check that out. It should be I should have the culture today. So
Hell to Tom in the chat. We need to get you back on as a special guest one Friday, Tom. Maybe next Friday. I don't know. We need to get you back on. John, what do you got going on?
Yeah, so I'll have an article up here probably in the next half an hour. Was almost finished with it about former Dragon Age lead writer David Gator kind of having a complete and utter meltdown over on Blue Sky. He is attacking gamers for their criticisms of the character designs in Dragon Age the Veilguard. And then a day later, he is literally saying he doesn't like the artistic style of the game. He says it makes him feel cold. You literally cannot make this stuff up. He literally has the same criticisms, yet he's going to insult you and attack you because you are on the wrong, quote unquote, political side or the ideological side of the aisle from him, which shows that these people literally only care about that. They're just so kind of tunnel brained on that. I'll probably have an article. I'm probably going to do a video on that as well. My third video for today. And then over on the John Trent Racing channel, I did finally get back into that yesterday after like a 2-week hiatus. So hopefully got the schedule kind of worked out where I can dedicate some time to that consistently. But the final Dirt Track World Championships are happening this weekend at Eldora Speedway for the Luke Sawyer Late Model Dirt Series Championship. So probably will be covering that. Today is kind of just a preliminary race. Saturday is the big money race where they'll crown a champion and they'll race for $100,000 to win as well. The last year's race was absolutely wild. I mean, there were so many cars that went out. There were people literally getting hit with clods of dirt and being knocked unconscious in the cars. It was
doesn't
wild.
Sound like a fun time.
A storm had just come through and like really chopped up the track, and like they probably shouldn't have raced. They probably should have rescheduled. But so I'll be covering that. We'll see what happens with that. So look forward to that. And then obviously on the NASCAR front, I think they're at they're at Vegas and they start the round of 8 this weekend. So look forward to some coverage on that. I know there's been a lot of drama. I've been following it. I just haven't really covered any of it. But there's been a lot of drama and stuff. And there's like a lawsuit happening with the teams suing them and everything. Over their charter agreements and stuff. So
wait a minute. You mean Michael Jordan is suing them?
Yeah, Michael Jordan is suing NASCAR alongside Front Row Motorsports. So his 2311 team, which includes Denny Hamlin, is suing NASCAR. And there's another team called Front Row Motorsports that's doing it as well. And NASCAR, I think, just issued a response saying it's baseless. So we'll see what happens with that. And they Michael Jordan and his people, like, they got like a big contract lawyer who doesn't lose. So I think it's going to get contentious. We'll see how that goes moving forward. And there's all kinds of drama around that about how NASCAR was kind of twisting arms and stuff with the other owners that did sign to the new charter agreement. So that's what I got going on there. And then That Park Place, I think Marvin has a story in the cooker regarding Epic Universe. So I'll probably get that up this afternoon as well.
Awesome. Well, guys, for me and everybody here on the panel, I want to thank you guys for being here. Smash that like button on your way out. As we always say here, you are Echo Base Network. Until next time, guys, we will see you later.